Season's greetings to the NBA fans. We about to get started today. It is day one of the action. Yeah, 22nd of December, and finally, an NBA season is back with about 95% of the people healthy. We know about Klay Thompson out of Golden State, which was a big loss for the Golden State Warriors. However, everybody else looks clean, has a clean slate. And I want to talk about tonight and what I'm excited to see with these teams. Golden State versus the Brooklyn Nets is a big game. I think that's one we need to watch. I'm going to continue my team previews because the first week, you guys give me slack. Technically, it hasn't been like there's 20 games played. Like there's really a direction of where a team's going to win or lose. I'm going to continue those and get those done by this weekend. However, I want to see Brooklyn, right? I want to see Brooklyn at full speed and what they bring to the table. Steph Curry's also back. Oubre's there with Curry. It's interesting. I don't think Oubre's the main guy, in my opinion. They got a couple other young guys that have had strong seasons. When we go over the preview for the Golden State Warriors, you're going to notice that, Oubre is really not the only animal there that can cause some damage. Matter of fact, some of the players from last year are actually a little bit more scary, in my opinion. We'll go over that. But other games tonight, I'm looking over to the side. LA Lakers at the LA Clippers. Going to be interesting to see. Paul George will return, and the LA Lakers took some of the power forwardness out of the LA Clippers, and that's going to be Montrezl Harrell. Interesting to see him back against his old team. Obviously, Lakers are slow starters, but we shall see tonight. They should win. Other big moments: Charlotte versus Cleveland. Game of the rookies, game of teams trying to position themselves for the future. We got New York Knicks versus Indiana. That East race is going to be tight. It's going to be interesting to see how Indiana plays it out. They again are not the greatest talent team, but they somehow make it every year. Miami Heat versus Orlando. Big matchup in my opinion. Do not sleep on this game. Going to be interesting to see how both teams line up. Cole Anthony, Precious Achiuwa, two young rookies. Again, let's see how that mix happens. Derrick Jones Jr. really wasn't part of the rotation as much last year with Miami, but he's gone. Let's see how Okpala and all those guys step up to take the place of Mr. Derrick Jones Jr., even though the minutes will be few. Other big game, Washington versus Philadelphia. Westbrook, first game in the East Side. Let's see what he can bring to the table for the Wizards. They now have enough talent on the Wizards side, all right? They're still going to have a tough time getting in. Hamatura, Avila, Westbrook, and Mr. Shooting Man. Can't remember his name right now. It should be interesting for the Washington Wizards, and we'll get the first game to see what Westbrook brings from an energy perspective to this team. All right, and now we got the Milwaukee Bucks. Boston is another big game. Let's see what happens with Milwaukee. Be interesting to see the changes, right? Where does Drew Holiday really fit now? How does he really play? What are the additional pieces that Washington needs? The last game, but not least, Miami Heat versus Portland Trailblazers. New Orleans Pelicans versus Toronto Raptors. That's way off. So that's going to be an interesting matchup as well tonight. Zion, right? Lonzo. That's what I'm excited to see. Toronto, let's see if they're the ones that are out. I highly doubt it because of the coaching, but they may be out of the race, right? They may have some issues. So we'll see that transpire. Atlanta versus Chicago, they are both trying to get into the playoffs this year, so it's important that they come out with wins tonight. OKC at Houston. Is James Harden playing tonight? Let's see. Be interesting. They haven't traded him yet. Maybe they're waiting for a little bit or waiting for the best position. Wonder if they'll put him on IR. I would love to see Wall and Harden Cousins for a couple games. No offense, and Wood. It would be nice to see, but we may not get that. Sacramento Kings against Memphis. Battle of two budding superstar point guards. Ja Morant has a little bit more talent, in my opinion. Memphis should come out on top. A lot younger talent as well. And I'm lying. It was San Antonio Spurs. So San Antonio Spurs versus Memphis was the game. My apologies. So that's Javante Murray. So, you know what? Spurs may come out on top on his first game. Still, LaMarcus Aldridge is there. Still, DeMar DeRozan. They may come out on top. I'm not going to lie to you. So the Spurs play the Memphis Grizzlies. Detroit versus Minnesota. A big matchup of two teams trying to get into the playoffs. Minnesota, rough start in the preseason. Got to see what kind of work they can put in for game time today. And all the assets they acquired. First pick in the draft, D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns. They have a big three now, right? I'm giving Anthony Edwards the benefit of the doubt, even though he hasn't played a real game yet. I know what he's done in the preseason. But he's a number one pick. Expectation is number one pick is supposed to be productive in some way when they get drafted. The next one up is, here goes the Kings. Sacramento Kings versus Denver Nuggets. Interesting play there. I'm doubting the Kings because of talent, but I said, maybe coaching, maybe they gel, maybe they get lucky. Some teams surprise me. Utah Jazz is one of those teams that surprise me every year. Let's see how they work out, man. Let's see what happens there with De'Aaron Fox, right? And see if he can explode to make it like a John Wall situation where he forces the hand of teams to get himself into the running for the 8th spot in the playoffs, which I think they'll be hunting for, okay? Utah versus Portland, big matchup. Portland's going to need 2-3 weeks to gel. I'm saying it here first. It's not going to be immediate. Portland needs some time to figure out what they got as a nucleus. They're probably one of the strongest small forward teams. I just did a review on them. Go watch that. I think they're exciting. They're loaded at almost every position in an above average position. I'm not saying everyone's a superstar LeBron James-isms, but you got star-like talent on every single position, and some of the backups on Portland. Probably their most athletic team ever. However, they need to get some three-point shooting. Can Rodney Hood come back is the question, right? What can they get out of Rodney Hood? All right, that's the next one. And the last, I'm probably lying to you, Dallas versus Phoenix. Again, entries, is Dallas really a 5th or 6th seed? Do they take the spot of who was in there? Denver. I mentioned Denver may have some issues this year. Does Luka and Porzingis a full season, and then they got a couple good draftees? Are they going to make this next level up run to garner something different? Again, they can make some point guard trades. I think Dennis Smith Jr. returning to them is not a bad acquisition. But I think this team may step up to the next level. Going to give Denver some problems. Phoenix, Chris Paul's there, right? That's the talk of the town. Let's see what he can do game night. Interesting to see how he plays with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. By the way, that's a big three. Phoenix now has a big three. So it's going to be interesting to see how they lay out this season. So in all, big start this tonight. I'm taking a lunch and really just want to talk about basketball. Excited. I'm ready. Yeah, where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Let's see where they at. Big season. Hoop fans, be on. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's get to 1,000, man. I want to do some live shows and just start chatting basketball. I'm out of here. Peace.